Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the network marketing industry worldwide. You can divide them very roughly into 4 different groups. So you've got traditional MLM. Do you know what that is? That's like Herbalife, Amway, GNLD, Manatech, Sportron, FLP, well, which other ones do you know?
Tianchi.
TVI, what's that one?
Tianchi.
Tianchi.
Oh yes, Tianchi would be in there.
Like this?
No, he's good. Good.
AIM, Swiss God. There are hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So traditional MLM are sort of the network marketing companies that you should be looking at joining at the moment. Obviously, traditional is also my daily choice. Then you've got the Stokvel businesses. Now, Stokvel business has been very popular in South Africa for, what are they? Yes. Actually, 3 easy businesses. The first one is it's familiar. All of us have heard of or seen a Stokvel before. So South Africa took to Stokvel business because it was familiar. It was something that we were comfortable with because we've heard of Stokvel so many times before. We've just never seen it like this, right? It made us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Because the ideology, let's help each other, let's uplift South Africa, eradicating poverty all over the world, right? So Stokvels did very well in South Africa for the last year because it was something that was new, it was different. And then there was this big conspiracy against the banks, right? South Africans love a conspiracy. The banks are trying to steal our money. Make sure that you get into a Stokvel business, right? So these are the reasons why something like Triple M, for instance, grew to 2 million people, offering 30% per month, and they lasted effectively before their restart for 18 months. Okay. Then you've got things like Cash Gang. Cash Gang had about 10,000 members, offered 50% every 2 days, and lasted 3 weeks.
Only 3 weeks.
Exactly. So do you see, in Stokvel business, no money is generated. In fact, all we are doing is we are moving money from one person to the other. And we're moving it with an exponential percentage that can never be sustainable, ever. When you speak to people from a Stokvel, always remember, if I put in 100,000 Rand and you put in 100 Rand, who makes more money? The rich. Stokvel business does not help the poor. It helps the rich people get richer, because the more you put in, the more you can pull out. Does it make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
And it's about time that we start educating people. Stokvel business is on the decline at the moment. Traditional MLM is on the rise. Is it a good time to join a stokvel now? No. It's now a good time to join a traditional MLM. Okay. What are you going to say?
Mommy, I already knew that, but that's because, let's say, if you put 2,000 Rand in, one person would put 1 Rand in, and the person that puts more money in would get the more back.
Yes, so it helps the poor. Then you've got good job, Dottie. Then you've got the rev share business. Now, rev share businesses haven't quite hit South African shores the way you would anticipate that new MLMs would, okay? The sort of like the grandfather of rev share businesses is something called traffic monsoon. So these kind of businesses, I'm going to give you my opinion, okay? And then I'm going to substantiate it with facts. These kind of businesses don't actually have a product. There's no real product with rev share businesses. They sell a concept, a fictitious product, and then they actually make themselves a Lani stokvel. That's essentially what it is. So let me explain how rev share works. No, Uber is an actual business. Traffic monsoon and how these businesses work is like they'll say to you, put in X amount. So let's say you put in 10,000 Rand, right? So you pay 10,000 Rand to them, not to another member. So there's your red flag. Then they pay you per day, maybe a 2% return on that daily, and then they'll give you a fixed amount of days that they'll pay to you for. So they'll pay you that 2% for 100 days.
So is that like points?
It's like those programs, yes. So you would invest 10,000 Rand, and then they led you to believe that they take your money and invest it or buy advertising or create traffic on websites. Or do you see how it's not a tangible product? It's very airy fairy in the air, and then they pay you that 2% daily. What they then encourage you to do is to reinvest your 2%. So you don't actually draw immediately. There's your second red flag. So let's say here you're going to earn per day 200 Rand, right? Because that's 2% of 10,000. So you're going to earn 200 Rand for 100 days, which is going to give you 20,000 Rand over 100 days. So you're getting 100% return. Does that make sense to everybody? Mm-hmm. But now they're saying reinvest this every day, and then you start another 100-day cycle. And then they literally say you lose your money after the 100 days. So you don't have the 10,000 after the 100 days anymore, because it's now already given you an income for 100 days. Does that make sense to everyone? Mm-hmm. So rev shares are not very easy to understand. They're literally, have you ever seen? Got to be very careful. I was going to be very rude now.
I'm sure you can be.
No, Hannah was here, so I can't say that.
I'll close my ears.
Sometimes you see that lady and she's walking down the street and you're like wondering, like, Mahosha much?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like you're wondering, because you can see it looks like a mahosha, it smells like a mahosha, it walks like a mahosha, it must be a mahosha, right? So rev share looks like a stokvel, sounds like a stokvel. It actually is a stokvel. That's what it is. But the Americans and some of the other first world countries have gone and jazzed it up with some really exciting products that need jack to you. So they say you're buying ad packs. You don't invest, you buy ad packs. and then your ad packs give you a daily return. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So let me give you some rev share businesses that have collapsed in the last 3 or 4 months. Because in essence, they are promising you a return, and where does that return come from? Okay, does that make sense? All right, do you see why I say rev shares and Stokveld are actually very much the same? As soon as you have a product that is not practical, you're actually just a Stokveld. You're actually just a Stokveld. So when companies like OneCoin, for instance, comes into South Africa and they promote, you put in money because you're buying a coin that doesn't quite exist into a blockchain that hasn't been developed yet, and they're promising you future income. The reason why there's a delay is because between now and then, they need to find a way to pay you your money. The more people join, the more people they're hopefully going to pay out. But at the end of the day, there is no tangible product. Even when they do get the blockchain in place, and even when they do have a cryptocurrency, where is that cryptocurrency accepted? It's the same issue that I have with Bitcoin, for instance. So I'm a member of Bitcoin, by the way. I've got a video of Rev Wayne saying, "Viva Team on Fire, we love Team on Fire," and everything. So Bitcoin, the actual Bitcoin coin, has got a value to it. I think it's like, what, $400 now, is it?
It's just,
It does play with me.
okay.
No? So let's say it's about like $400 or whatever, right? Per Bitcoin, $40, doesn't matter. The point is, I can give you this marker, and I can say to you it's worth 100 rand.
You can only buy it, you can't sell it.
But you can't use that marker to buy anything. No. It's worth 100 rand though. But it's just a marker. It's not functional. Do you hear what I'm saying? So be careful of rev share businesses. Be careful of cryptocurrency businesses. Because unless you can actually use the product or use the currency you have bought, it is worth nothing. And I don't mean selling it to another sucker that wants to buy the currency he can't use. That's not, they say, oh, we're trading. Okay, so I'm going to sell you this pen for 100 rand, and then you sell her the same pen for 200 rand. And then you sell her the same pen for 300 rand. You sell her the same pen for 400 rand. Oh, I'm sorry, we've run out of money.
Yeah.
And who's lost? Do you see why I say it's financial musical chairs? Like when I was at netball practice, we always just spread hot potato. Yeah, you have it. No, you have it. No, you have it. No, you have it. And when it crashes, the oak with the most coins is the guy that loses. So rev share businesses and cryptocurrency businesses are something that I'm steering completely clear of unless it is a proper Bitcoin mining platform. And to find proper Bitcoin mining platforms are so rare. I know that Dragon Mine is quite good. Okay, so there you go. You can use some of the other ones. We don't endorse any of them because I'm done losing money. Okay, so do you see? This is sort of like the 4 categories that you can put network marketing into: traditional MLM, Stokveld, rev share, and cryptocurrencies. Yes. Carrot bars is a traditional MLM. They fit in here. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about companies. And are we recording, Andrew? I think I did press record.
You did.
Because I want this to be on record.
You just dropped the pink one.
Do you know how there's always that one person that tries to be different? They try to defy the laws because their intention isn't 100% what it should be. Then you get the companies, and I don't care who's upset with me for saying this. This is my opinion. I can put a disclaimer on it, and I'm quite capable and willing to air it, okay? I'm sure I'm going to get death threats and letters, and please, I live on 22 Malachite Street, please go for it. Okay, the number is 082-361-5911. Join the line of haters that are yet to prove our strategy is wrong. This is nonsense. Please stop joining these things. Please stop wasting your money. Pay your children's school fees. Build a business that generates an income. Don't make a company rich that's not going to last for much longer. We have to start speaking out, and we've got to start getting a little bit of backbone. So here's the thing. Now you look at Stokvel business. Is now a good time to join Stokvel businesses? No, because 90% of them have failed. And the ones that haven't failed will probably fail in the next month or two. Because more money is going out than the money that's coming in. Are you going to join Stokvels this week? No. Then you look at companies that fall into this, I actually want to call it the cesspool of MLM, okay? Don't join things like crowd rising and PEC and nonsense like that, where they give you some really bad product that's not, I can't call it a product, because all it is a glorified Stokvel. These are companies that are trying to drive Stokvel businesses. Don't do this to yourself. If you're going to do rev share businesses, in fact, no, don't do rev share businesses. If you want to do cryptocurrency, go find decent Bitcoin-based platforms that are tried, tested, registered, cross the T's and dot the I's. And remember, Bitcoin business is difficult to duplicate. Can anyone in this room tell me what a Bitcoin is besides Andrew? And Eric. Can anyone tell me what it is? What's a Bitcoin? It's a digital currency. No, physically, what is it? What can I say?
Can I guess?
I get that we get told the generic answer. If the internet was a country, Bitcoin would be the currency, right? But physically, how Bitcoin came to be, it's crosses and noughts, right?
Noughts and ones.
Noughts and ones, same thing. Do you see what I'm saying?
It's what?
It's like noughts and ones. That's what it's like. Noughts and ones, yeah. It's a digital code. Some big computer generates a code and bing, you got a coin.
It's actually a distributed ledger.
There you go. Okay, thank you for that, Andrew. Anyway, so do you see why I build traditional network marketing?